Good day, guys. Today we are going to be dealing with histograms. So we are going to be solving some questions uh, which are very interesting. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see here, question 1 here, which I have here, is construct an histogram. To construct an histogram, which of the following is necessary? Your first question, that's the question here. Okay, now we have option A to be class interval, option B to be class midpoint, option B, C, class boundary, class width, and class frequency. Let me tell you that before you can construct any histogram, one thing that is very important that you must have is what we call class interval. Because actually, one thing you are going to do when you are given the data and your aim is to construct histogram is that you will have to construct a class interval. So class interval is very important in any histogram. Class midpoint, we don't need class midpoint before we can construct histogram. Just to rule that out. Class boundary can be used to construct histogram too, but class boundary is always gotten from class interval. For example, when you have a class interval of from 20 to 30, from 30 to 50, or let me show you what I'm trying to say. You can have class interval of different, this is what I'm trying to say. Look at this. This is what you call the class interval. If I want to form a class boundary from this, I will just say from 0 to 3.5, from 3.5 to 7.5, 7.5 to 11.5. So when you are deducting by producing a boundary such that what end a class will start the next class. So we say you have a class boundary. So they are actually gotten from the class interval. If you don't have the class interval, you cannot get the class boundary. So that's to rule out class boundary from the option. And class width, in fact, that doesn't concern us. Some people might wanted to choose class frequency. But let me tell you this, class frequency is not always important when you wanted to plot an histogram. In fact, you can use cumulative frequency density. So there are some other things you can use instead of frequency if you want to plot your histogram. So the answer here is class interval. Consider question 2. This is OGIF, or you get cumulative frequency graph. Now this is very easy. The question is asking for the mark. That what will be the total mark here? This is very easy. Just notice that this point is 10, this point mark 20, this mark 30, this mark 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. All we just need is to sum everything together. If you sum this thing 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50 to 80, you are going to get 360. So 360 is the correct answer here. See, let's see question 3. For question 3 here, the class width of a certain group of data is 20. What will be the lower class limit if the upper class limit is 59? In fact, many people will miss this because of the fact that we thought that because class width talk about the distance. So that means many people will think they should add upper class limit, they should subtract the class width from upper class limit to get the lower class limit. But if you do that way, you are wrong. Because in fact, if you wanted to use class interval to get your width, what you are going to do is to subtract upper class limit from the next upper class limit. Or you subtract lower class limit from the next lower class limit. So the best easy way to get your class to deal with the class width here is to try to formulate a class boundary. And how am I going to do that? This is what I will do. I will realize that if I wanted to construct the next class, since this thing happened to be the upper class limit, the next class will be 60 to 79. Yes, you get it right. 60 to 79. In that case, what I should subtract is the upper class limit here and the new one I just formulated. And that would be 79 minus 59. You realize that I get 20. Now, if I need to get the previous one using 60, you realize that before I can get 20 again, there must be 40. So what I'm going to have here will be 40. And in fact, another way to realize that The answer here is not 39. Is to try to do this counting. If you start counting from 39, say 39, 1, 42, 41, 3, continue counting like that. When you reach 59, you realize that you've counted 21. And in that case, your class width is no more 20. It's no more 20. But if you start counting from 40, you have 40, you have 41, you have 42, 43, 44, to 59. If you add it, if you count everything, you realize you have 20. So the class width here, the lower class limit here would be 40. And if you construct the class boundary for them, you realize that the class boundary will be 39.5 and 59.5. If you subtract it, you'll get 20 also. So notice that is the way to get the answer. The answer here is not 39, because in fact, if you use 39, the class width will become 21. So 40 is the correct answer. Have a look at this. This is a graph. The question asks, what is the ratio of the total sale of branch B2 for both year to the total sale of B4? This is very easy. Just sum for the branch B2, then sum all data for branch B4 and find their ratio. And that is what I have done here. 75 plus 65 will give me 140. This is how I get 75. You can see this is for B2, 75, 65. And this is for B4, 95, 85. So I sum them together here. I get 140 for this, 180 for this. So you can just find their ratio. If you call this thing by 0 cancel 0, you have 2 here, 7, 2 here, 9. And that gives 7 ratio 9. So question is later. Question 5, what is the average sale of all the branches? This is very easy question. Average sale of all the branches can be calculated by this. Since you have all the branches here, how many branches do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all you just have to do is to sum all this data you have here. Just to not waste my time, that's why I'm not going to solve this for you. Just do 80 plus 105 plus 75 plus 65 plus. So add everything together, then divided by how many branches? 6. And you are going to get your answer for that. That's very easy too. All right, for question 6, B3, B1, B3, B5. The question asks, what is the total sale for all of this? B1, B3, B5. This is quite easy. Just go to your B1, you have 80 and 105, sum it together. B3, 95 and 110, sum it together. B5, 75 and 95, sum it together. And you can now sum the whole thing together to get the total value for all the three. I think that is not hard at all. As you can see here, I have 185 plus 205 plus 170. And that sum up to 560. So 560 is the correct answer here. For number 7, that we look, identify the outlier here. Remember when you say outlier, it's just a observation that happen to be extremely large or extremely small. So you are going to realize outlier when you have them in the data set. But the fact that they are going to deviate so much from other data. For example, look at the data here, 23, 37, 24, 30, 26. You can see how this data look like. In fact, without telling you, you should suspect 4 here, because this 4 is extremely small. You can see every data I have here, no one less than 20. But consider this one, this is too far. So the outlier here will be 4. So you can understand that. Let's proceed towards question 8. What is the appropriate way to visualize the list of eye color of 120 people? In fact, eye color that is mentioned here is an example of qualitative data. And one easy way to visualize qualitative data, I don't know if you have learned that, but if you don't know that, let me tell you now, that is to use pie charts or you use bar charts. So the two graphs that are very easy to visualize any qualitative data, because eyes color has to do with qualitative data, is to use pie chart or use bar charts. So to visualize a quantitative data, we use box plots and histogram. So the only correct answer I have here is pie chart. Okay, move to question 9. For question 9, which of the following visualized display is best to visualize outlier in any data set? Let me tell you that any data set, whenever you are given, the best graph you can use to visualize this is to use box plots, or you use scatter plots in other cases. So just note, you can also find it in another question. So the way you visualize your outlier is to use box plots, or you use scatter plots. These two graphs can be easily used to show the outlier in any data set. Yes. The next question, which of the following is true? Box plots can help detect minimum value only. Box plots explain the 5 norm. Consider this thing. The answer is the box plot explain the 5 norm and outlier. And how? This option A would have been correct, but the question say only. And this is what makes the question option A wrong. Box plot does not only detect the minimum value alone. No, there are so many things box plots are used to detect. Option B, it explains the 5 norm and the outlier. This is actually okay. Remember, the 5 norm we are talking about here are the minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum value. So it's call them 5 norms, some, because they are the important thing that we need in box plots. Another thing is that box plot also show you the outlier. In fact, I mentioned it earlier that box plots and scatter plots are used to quickly recognize outlier. So option C, histogram explain 5 norm and outlier. This is wrong because histogram does not actually show you the 5 norms. Option D, box plot can help describe data distribution. No, it is only histogram that shows you the data distribution. Whenever you want to plot a graph or you want to visualize your data, I wanted to show the distribution of your data. It is only histogram that should be used in that case, not box plots. Both box plot and histogram can explain data distribution. This is also wrong. Like I said earlier, box plot does not show the distribution of data. Now, question 11. What is the question? More people add between dash and dash cup of tea. This is a straight and direct question. In fact, this question is actually asking you for the modal class. More people add between dash and dash cup of tea. That means all you have to check is the frequency. See the number of people that have a certain number of coffee. 2 people like 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 3. You can see that many people like 8 to 11. So the answer should be 8 and 11. So many people add 8 and 11 cup of tea than any other range. So that should be the correct answer. So 8 to 11 should be the answer. For 12, using the table in question 11, the upper class boundary for the second class is, let's check. This is the second class, and the question is asking for the upper class boundary. Remember, to formulate a boundary, all you just have to do is to subtract 0.5 from the lower, then add 0.5 to the upper. So if you subtract 0.5 from here, you have 3.5. If you add 0.5 to this, you have 7.5. So 7.5 will be the upper class boundary, while 3.5 is the lower class boundary. So the upper class boundary here should be 7.5. So the correct answer is 7.5. But I think how many cities has the temperature between 7 degrees Fahrenheit and 99 degrees Fahrenheit? This is very easy. All you just have to do is to measure from 70 to 99. So let's see where 70 starts. You can see this thing telling us that from 70 to 79, from 80 to 89, from 90 to 99. So that means to get from 70 to 99, we need to sum these 3 back together. So check for 70 to 99, there are 10 of them. From 80 to 89, there are 16 of them. From 90 to 99, there are 18 of them. So we just need to add 10 plus 16 plus 18. And you can see that is equivalent to 44. So that is 44 is the correct answer for this. Another question, if Max Wizard measured another tree on the orchard, which is most likely to be the height of the tree? Now here, consider this graph how it look like. What tree do you think, what range have the highest number of trees? You realize that it is 10 to 44, 10 to 14. This is what I'm trying to say. 10 to 14, the range for the frequency for 10 to 14 is 25, and that is the highest. And that happened to be the most commonest one. In that case, we say there is high chances that someone will get a tree that will be ranged between 10 to 14. So if Max wishes to measure any tree the tree is likely to range between 10 to 14 because that happens to be the most occurrence tree we have. So in that case, looking at the option here, I have 12, I have 21, I have 3, I have 19. Remember, the range we have here, or the class, is 10 to 14. So 12 would be okay to be the correct answer because in fact 12 is between 10 and 14. 21 is wrong because if you pick 21, 21 will fall between these ones. But you can see the number of trees that happen to be here is even not up to 3. So there are few of them. So in fact, if you just measure any random tree, it is not likely that it will be this. So if you pick 3 feet, see the number of trees that happen to be 3, there are just only 6 of them. It is not likely that you get a tree to be between 0 and 4 if you may just pick a random tree. So the best answer that we solve this will be 12, because actually there are so many trees, there are 25 trees here. And if you just pick a random tree, it is likely that you get one of these heights. So 12 feet will be the correct answer. For number 15, using the graph in the question 14, we can calculate that it's not likely for mode to less than 10 feet. Is this true or not? In fact, when you say the mode, we are talking about the modal class. So the modal class is still the same class that has the highest frequency, and that is between 10 to 14 also. So 10 to 14 has the highest frequency here. So that means if there should be mode, the mode should be between 10 and 14. And let's see what the question is. The question is now asking that it is not likely that for the mode to less than 14. Yes, that's true. Because in fact, the mode is actually going to be between 10 and 14. So it is not likely that the mode will less than 14. The mode can either be 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14. So it will not less than 14. So it is not likely that we have this. So the answer will be true. So I hope you understand this. This is the solution to all this exercise I have here. So I believe you enjoyed it and understand. If you have any question to ask me, consider to drop your question in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You should also try to share this video if you find it interesting to some people who might also need it. You are blessed. Stay tuned to my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.